For this tutorial you will need your selected yarn. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK and I shall leave a link in the description box below of where you can get this and what colours I'm using or what colours I have here. You will need a crochet hook. I'm choosing to use a 4.5mm, but you can check your label on your yarn to see which size is best to suit yours. And you can go up or down with your hook size. I'm choosing to go a little bit bigger than what it suggests. You will need some scissors and a darning needle. I've previously done a tutorial of how to make this star, and this is what we're going to start off with this particular tutorial. This is what's going to be in the very centre, and I'm going to show you how to build upon this. So I'll leave a link in the description box to the original star if you want to go ahead and make that, and I'll join you back here so that we can go ahead and start the blanket itself. So now that you've created your star, we're going to start adding to this to make it bigger and bigger. Now, as you can see, the point of the star here, we have our chain 3 and then we have our 3 trebles either side. The first treble that we're going to work in is the one in the middle. So if you have a look at the top here, you have like 3 V's just there at the top of the treble. So you're going to insert your hook into that middle V, and you're going to grab your yarn and pull it through. And this is the way that I like to attach things, just because I know that it's really nice and secure, but you can attach whichever way you prefer, whichever technique. So once that's on there, we are going to insert our hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through, and then we're going to start off by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to act as our first treble. Now remember, I'm working in UK terms. In the US this would be known as a double. So next we're going to work into the top of the next treble, and we're going to do a treble crochet. So it's yarn over, insert into the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, and yarn over, pull through 2. So we now have our 2 trebles. Now we're going to be working into this space here where we've done our chain 3, and we're going to do 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to work our peak of the star, and this is going to be the same for every round, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then do another 3 trebles in that space. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do another 2 trebles into the trebles from the previous row, and we're going to do it in the top of this one and this one. So you might just want to pull this way slightly, just because this gap just here is actually the top of this treble. If you miss this gap and work into the next 2 trebles, it actually spoils the pattern. So make sure you're working into this one directly here. So treble into the top of that stitch, and then treble into the top of the next stitch. And we're going to leave this very last stitch here. This is the way we're going to work around the whole of the piece of work. So once you have the kind of basic technique of what you're doing, it will be exactly the same for each round. You'll just get bigger with more stitches. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and you want to make sure that you have the same on each edge. And then the next round will actually have 2 more, so it will have 7. Then the next one will have 9, so it goes up by 2 for each round. So what we do here is we actually want to miss 2 stitches. So this is the first treble, and then if you look across the other side, you have your 3 trebles just here. we don't want to work into the first one, we want to work into the second one. So it's yarn over, insert into the second one, and then do your treble as normal, and then again into the next one. So that's 2 stitches, and then 3 stitches into that big space. 1, 2, and 3, and that equals 5 up along that edge. Chain 3 for the peak, and then another 3 trebles into that space. 1, 2, and 3. Pull this over slightly just to make sure that you're working into the right stitch, and then do a treble into that first one, a treble into the middle. We skip the next one, identify the stitches on the opposite side. We skip the first one and work it into the middle one with a treble crochet. 1, and then 1 into the next one, and then 3 trebles into that corner. Chain 3 to make the peak, and then continue all the way round until you get to the beginning. If you want to pause the video, work your way to this last peak, and I shall meet you back and show you how to connect and start your next round. So I've just come to my last edge, and then we have the section here where we would skip 2 trebles, and all you want to do is insert your hook into the 3rd chain from the bottom of your first chain 3 that you did for this round, and slip stitch into that stitch just to bring it together. Now if you were to continue with the same colour, what you actually want to do is slip stitch your way over to the second treble in, because obviously we want to leave these 2 stitches free from anything in them so that we can continue with the pattern in the same way. So all you do is insert your hook into the top of the second treble along, and yarn over and pull through to make a slip stitch, and then you're just going to chain 3 to start this next round. So that classes as your treble in the second stitch, and then you just want to treble into the 3rd, and again, and again. Then, as before, you would do your 3 trebles into that space. You would chain 3 for your peak, and then you will continue round with your 3 trebles into this section. So as I said before, you now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 2 more than the previous round. So you would work your way around this star in exactly the same way, and you would join in exactly the same way as well. I'm going to show you how to change colours, so I'm just going to undo this and then show you what you would do if you were to change a colour for your 3rd round. Right, so if you wanted to change colour yarn, it's exactly the same procedure as what we did to start this off. So we skip this first treble, we insert our hook into the top of the second treble, grab your yarn and pull it through, tie off or connect in whichever way you prefer, and then you would insert your hook again, grab the yarn and pull it through, and begin by chaining 3 and continue in exactly the same way. This is what your blanket will start to look like as you build more and more. I chose to start off with a cream colour yarn, do 2 rows of my first colour, and then just 1 row of cream again, followed by 2 rows of my next colour, etc. So this actually makes a really nice baby blanket, and obviously you could switch out the colours depending on the baby's gender, or I actually think this would make a really nice Christmas blanket, obviously using Christmassy colours. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!